Hey everyone, welcome in. We'll get started in just a moment. And in the meantime, for those of you who are new, we always kick these off by having everyone throw in chat where they're from. Lets us know that you can hear us and shows how wide Dataedo kind of ranges. I know we've had customers all over this morning. We had everybody from Hong Kong to Utah, thanks to Richard. As far as us, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm in Gdańsk, Poland. Richard, I cannot hear you.
And I'm on mute. I'm in Utah.
I see Levi and Red are both in Utah as well.
Hello, Terry. I used to live in Lubbock. I actually taught at Texas Tech.
That's right. It's a small world. We have a lot of people in Texas, it looks like. Some people trickling in from Europe. And this morning we had a good mix, especially the early risers here in the US. I still see some people joining in, but Piotr, we can go ahead and kick things off.
Sure. Just a sec.
Yeah, it's awesome to have everyone here. As I'm sure the majority of you are familiar with since you signed up, we'll be covering the 23.1 release, giving you a lot of updates on that. So alongside of me today is Piotr Kadanov, who's our founder and CEO, and Richard Monk, who's our data success manager. I'll give him a proper introduction here momentarily. And then for myself, I've had the pleasure of meeting the majority of you, it looks like, but I'm the director of customer operations here at Dataedo. So to roll into a little bit of the agenda, I'll give you an idea of what we're going to walk through here. So we will start off with just a quick update on things here with Dataedo, and then we'll go into what's new with 23.1. We will give you a little bit of a peek under the hood at what's coming, so what is under development currently, and then we'll do a quick licensing update at the end, followed by a Q&A. As we run through the webinar, if you have questions, throw them in the questions tab. We'll address those at the end, but as they pop into your head, go ahead and throw them there, and we'll make sure to get to them. Excuse me. And without further ado, we'll jump into the updates.
Oh.
Skipped one there. So a lot of you, it looks like, have had the opportunity to meet Richard, but to give him a proper introduction. So Richard Monk joined our team 2 months ago as our data success manager. Wide and long background in IT data and analytics, even taught data management at the university level, and was formerly our most active user, used Dataedo for over 4 years, and a lot of you have probably seen him in our webinars. But he joined our team as a major resource for you guys. I'll let him introduce himself, but one thing to look into is he is a resource for you all to improve your experience with Dataedo. It's factored into your license and subscription costs, so no additional fee to use his brain. And Richard, we're happy to have you, so I'll let you continue with that introduction over onto yourself.
Great, thanks, Chase. It's good to be here. Good to be part of Dataedo. As mentioned, I spend a lot of time, over my career doing things in databases, and as I mentioned, even was a professor at Texas Tech, where I taught data management. So I was a customer for over 4 years with Dataedo. So obviously, I am excited about the product, and it's fun to share my experience. So for some reason, this is telling me I am muted. Can you hear me? Okay. So I am the data success manager here at Dataedo. As I said, I've been on for a couple months, and my role here is, as Chase mentioned, to help you all succeed. So whether that involves training or consulting, how to get other people to buy in and engage with the data catalog that you're building, how to show value to other people, those sorts of things. As mentioned, my service here for you is free and unlimited. So please, feel free to reach out anytime. My email will be shown at the end here in a little while, but it's richard@dataedo.com. And as I say, you're welcome to reach out as much as you want. Sometimes it's fun just to get together with other people who are excited about Dataedo and the tool and data catalogs and things, and just to talk about what's happening. So if you wanna get a meeting and just show me what you're doing, I look forward to that. It's fun to see what other people are doing and see how people are using the tool. So yeah, feel free to use me as much as you want, and I'll be happy to help you make the most of your Dataedo subscription. Obviously, that's what we're all here for, is to make the most of the subscription and build a product that's useful to your users out there. So feel free to reach out.
Perfect. Thanks, Richard. And Piotr, I will hand it off to you to run through 23.1.
Okay, thank you, Chase. Thank you, Richard. Okay, let's have an overview of the changes in 23.1. There's a bunch of that, so let's get started. Okay, so let's start with connectors. We've done a lot of work around new connectors and improving existing ones, especially in terms of lineage, automated lineage. So the first one is Tableau, and we you might have seen and have been using the old Tableau connector. It imported databases and data sources, I believe. Right now we also import data sources and workbooks and build a full column level lineage. So on each step, as you can see here, each step is a lineage on the column level, and we can also even go back to the source database if you have imported your database to the repository. So let's say it's an SQL server. If you imported that, we also help you track flow directly from that. So if you look at the table, you can see what workbooks are using that. That's not all regarding Tableau. We also enable you to export descriptions back to Tableau from Dataedo, which makes your documentation more valuable because your end users can access the documentation directly from the Tableau. Over here, you can see some fields, and in the tooltip, there's a description from the data. I believe it's here, data source, from data source fields, and also definition of the link term. So even if you link a term, we export that as well, so your end users can access that information easier. All right, we also upgraded our Power BI connector. In the last release, we added dashboards, importing of dashboards and lineage to Power BI. Now we improved that, and now it supports column level lineage. It also imports data flows. Data flows is the processing of your data inside Power BI. So your data flows and its lineage would be imported as well. And now it's easier to connect. You can it's enough to connect with Power BI Pro. Previously, you had to have a premium with XMLA endpoint, which wasn't that obvious to configure. So right now we have quite significantly improved the connector. Right now we're working on Power BI on-prem. And another one from the Microsoft, completely new connector, SSRS, which is SQL Server Reporting Services, reporting tool from SQL Server platform from Microsoft. We import reports, and we import the data sets, and we build lineage. And if it's SQL Server, we build lineage based on parsing of the SQL. So that's another quite powerful connector. And for Snowflake, we are also importing snowpipes, which we imported previously, but right now we also import stages and the lineage from snowpipes. More automated data lineage. In last release, you might have seen that we have added automated data lineage, also column level data lineage for SQL Server, Azure, and those Microsoft databases. As you can see here, for every view, we can parse the SQL, understand where the source of data is, and you can see here that we track which tables are used and which fields are used in this in the query. And right now we extended that to PostgreSQL and also Redshift, MySQL, which also includes MariaDB, PLSQL for Oracle, and we are now working on Snowflake. In the future, in the next release, we will also allow you to use one of those dialects. Each of these platforms has its own SQL dialect, slightly different than the standard ISO SQL. You will be able to choose one of them for any other database which is not listed here. That will help you, parse the lineage, at least for majority of the objects. And for manual data lineage, we have removed the limitations. Currently, there were limitations on building data lineage for tables, views. Table couldn't process data. Right now, we removed that completely, so you're completely free to define anything you like. The table can read and write data wherever it likes. So we thought it's best to give you the freedom. So yeah, from this release, there are no limitations. We are working on improving data profiling feature. Right now, we're adding some features, and in the last release, a couple of weeks ago, we have added a number of small improvements. One is that you can now edit descriptions, classifications directly in the window. So once you see what kind of data this is, you learn about the column, you can manually describe it with the description, custom fields, classifications, and so on. If you select in this window or with existing, so that's just one field with existing forms. If you set fields as classified, they will not be available for profiling. So if you have some sensitive data, personal data, you will not be able to profile this information. This is a step into the data protection that was requested by quite a lot of you. Let's move on to web. We have redesigned once again web completely. This is we are working on improving web catalog more and more, so it can provide the best experience for your end users and hopefully get the most adoption on outside of their typical users, those people who are heavily using Dataedo. So right now we have, you can see over here that we have redesigned this internal page here. It's there are some blogs that you can collapse. There's a community on the right. So I hope it will provide much better experience. A big change is that we've added notifications. Currently, that was available with email only, and now it's now we have this panel whenever something is what you are following is commented on or you are mentioned, you get a notification. We are also working on notifications for schema changes. So if you're following table, database, some object, and its schema changes, you will also get a notification here. Mentions, a big update for making the community much more engaging. Right now, like in many other software, you can mention some other user, and that person will get notification. You can edit your profile, picture, and display name. And we improve the performance in many places. Over here, you can see that this diagram is loading very quickly. We have rebuilt under the hood some of the pages that were loading slowly. I think that will improve the experience quite significantly. If you still find some places that are loading slowly for you, let us know. We are always seeking, places that we can fix. We're redesigning a lot of those things that are not currently working efficiently enough. All right, and we've added 4 new custom field types. All of them were requested by you over the past couple of years, actually. So the first one is tag. You can have multiple tag fields. If you just add one field called tag, it will be just like any other tags in any other software. So you can provide labels, you can create new labels, and tag columns, tables, any object. So it works just like custom field, and it works just like tags. If you'd like to have two sets of tags with two sets of values, you can define two fields. Those tags are also available in search. Next one is use user type. User is it drop down. You select one user from users catalog. So your editors, your viewers. That can be useful for fields like owner, like steward, like subject matter expert. And that also is available in search. The next one is date. Date is just a date field. There's a nice editor, and you cannot you have to provide the date in the right format. And the last one is color. This is something like from Outlook, for instance, when you can color code different objects, columns, give them some meaning. Another change is that we extended our catalog with new object types. So these are those folders you see in the catalog. The purpose of that was because we had to put a lot of different objects into folders or procedures, which weren't necessarily tables or procedures. So right now we extended the catalog with the object types that you can see here. The change is that some of the imports will create new folders in your catalog, and when you add objects manually, you have more choice right now. So that we did it to better reflect what's actually your cataloging. In last release, we have provided a feature that tests foreign key relationships. When in Dataedo, you can define relationships between two tables as a foreign key, as a referential pointer, and it was up to you to define two pair of tables and columns. It was up to you to make sure it makes sense, that there's a referential integrity. Dataedo has this test button. If you click it, it will check if there are the right columns, like values from one table exist in the other table, and the other table has unique values, and so on. So we run a bunch of tests. We show you here basically if it's fail or pass. And that was available for SQL Server, Azure SQL, and Snowflake. And we extended this to Postgres, MySQL, Oracle Redshift, and Aurora. And we are also working on signups now. In the future, we'd like to do those tests, run those tests in bulk, and show you them on some dashboard. But this is something we will be working on much later. And another very useful and requested feature is integration with Active Directory. This is in form of a separate application that you run, and it connects to your Active Directory and then syncs users and their groups, permissions, with our repository. That works for both desktop and web, and that's a separate small utility that you run outside of desktop and web. And the last change is the end of the file repository. Most of you are using a server repository anyway. Web requires a server repository. File was mostly for the ease of testing, the ease of trialing. We always recommended setting up a server repository because the file was limited in some cases anyway. And as we are moving more towards web and this more enterprise class software, we felt file repository is slowing us too much. We had test features separately, and we decided to drop it completely. So right now it's only available for server, and you can easily migrate your files and actually merge different repositories into your existing repository, into your new or production repository with this button over here. There is an instruction in the release notes. And a few words about the development. There are a couple of things we're working on, but I'd like to tell you about just the two major ones. So the biggest change is the flagship feature will be domains and subject areas. Currently, subject areas are folders under the database, and we'd like to redesign it completely. And subject areas will be a hierarchy, a separate, completely separate from the data sources. So, and there'll be two hierarchies. The first one will be business hierarchy, and that would be a main view for your for, let's say, business users or those data consumers, people or new people in your organization. That would be the natural place for them to go in and learn about learn about your business, basically, in a form of wiki. So so the top level is called domains. Then there are a couple of levels of subject areas, so you can describe different topics, and each of those levels has a description, a number of descriptive fields, and linked assets, which some of them you can mark as important. So you can create a subject area and then link reports, queries, tables, group some functionalities and some topics, some subject areas into one entity, which is much more meaningful to new people than just starting with the database view. And we're, as I said, we're working on data profiling. So again, improving UI, and the biggest change is that you will be able to provide a where filter for the table, so you're not profiling the entire table. And we will start saving the history of profiling. It will not be visible in the UI at first, but it will start. We'll start saving that. So in the future, when we add, there will be like some history of changes for the field, how that profiling change. For instance, is the number of null values growing or decreasing, or how is the number of rows growing or decreasing? And over to you, Chase, with licensing.
Perfect. So just to do a quick recap on licensing. So we'll have a chart here that will show you, based on what plan you have, is where you're going to sit with functionality. So you'll see that in our current plan, which is on the far left-hand side, is Dataedo. So you can see that on our website. Now, if you're on a plan that's older that may not have access to things like the web catalog, reference data, report catalog, those types of things, and you're interested in upgrading, please don't let the price on our website, deter you from reaching out. We always do custom pricing for customers. We want to make sure to honor you guys and reward you for being with Dataedo long term. So we're happy to give you a discount to make sure that there's a reasonable path for upgrade. So if you are interested in that, let us know. And then from here, we'll head into a little more on the licensing side and updates, but the contacts you'll go to do that. So for any type of licensing for customers, contact Jonathan at Dataedo.com. For new customers, if you're new to Dataedo and you're interested in exploring it further, Patrick at Dataedo.com will be your resource. And then, as we mentioned earlier, for any type of training, guidance, education about Dataedo, Richard at Dataedo.com will be your best contact there. And we'll hit the Q&A. So I see we've got a couple of questions. We'll start. Piotr, Abel asked, and this is more of a clarification, what does it mean that we are working on Power BI on-prem? And you're muted? Yeah, we gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So currently we support Power BI Cloud. So it's called Pro or Premium. Power BI on-prem is an on-prem application, and it's different than the cloud one, because it's actually SSRS under the hood. I don't know all the details. So currently you cannot connect to that. We're working on that, meaning that will allow connection with the next release. There are some limitations on the extraction of lineage, so we will be able to extract objects, so reports, data sets, and so on. I'm still unclear how much automated lineage will be able to do.
Perfect. Bernie asked about SSO with Google as an identity provider.
I don't think we planned this.
I know we've talked about it before, but I don't think it's on an immediate roadmap.
Yeah, it's not. We definitely looked at it because so some of those Google, for instance, those providers, they require signing up your domain. So vendor has to. So we would have to basically be SaaS with like static domain. And you actually do not have to have a domain, and you can host it in your environment. So I'm not 100% sure if it would be possible, and how would that look. But definitely we'll pass on this feedback, and we'll look into that.
Yeah, and Bernie, I believe we've met with you about that before, unless I'm crazy. So maybe we can just rebump that with our development team. Peter also asked, what is the general ETA of data domains? Sounds like a trap, but maybe we can give this an idea. And make sure we put the warning label of, we're not committing to anything.
Yeah. Shall I start with disclaimer?
Yes.
So basically, this is the flagship feature of next release. So we won't release the next major release without this. We've done a lot of work on that. We have some development version in web and desktop. I will ideally, summertime, July, but don't hold me accountable for that, because it's a big feature. We can break a lot of things. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Before Christmas.
Yeah. This or
before
next year.
Christmas, ideally. But yeah, in serious, around July, August, somewhere around there. Was also asked, will the data domain update allow for automatic or atomic level assignments to a specific critical data element, as opposed to subject areas which cannot go below table level?
Automatic level assignments. I'm not sure I understand, I suppose.
Yeah. Can you provide a little more information? Because I know that, would it be the same, Piotr, to say that, subject areas do go below table level, right? Because you can do columns, views, procedures.
I think the question is, will we allow linking to columns? Because right now the lowest you can get is a table. Let me see the screenshot. Actually, I believe yes. So 99% yes, but let me check that. No, that's actually the report over here. So definitely at some point, and for now, 99% sure.
Okay. So also said data domain equals customer, and then point it to critical data element, social security number.
Critical data element. I don't know what those marks mean.
Yeah, so maybe it would be worth getting like a quick call to understand the use case a little more, and then what exactly you're asking, because it would be good to know, to make sure that we're covering all use cases there.
So basically, let's say you have a domain customer. Yeah, domain is the top level. So let's say it's a subject area. Underneath you can say, so let's say a customer, and then you can have business terms linked with the customer subject area, which can be your definition of the customer, your definition of SSN, for instance. And you can also link tables to this domain, and you can also link tables to those terms, right? So those subject arrays and domains will be able to be linked to any type of data asset, right?
Perfect. And Alexander just asked $1 million question. So said, I noticed a recent buzz surrounding BART and ChatGPT. Have you considered incorporating AI into your product? It would be a valuable addition for documentation purposes. For instance, the AI could suggest suitable description if a field is labeled SSN. It could also be useful for providing documentation on SQL queries or DAX calculations. Just a thought.
Oh yeah, we definitely are looking into AI. So yeah, I mean, we did some R&D regarding that. We'd like to incorporate ChatGPT for our documentation as a fun fact. But as well, this technology is still progressing, and ChatGPT is a cloud solution without the isolation, and there's no on-prem, I believe. So currently, we won't be able to add this to the product, for security of your data. Maybe we could enable it for those who would like to share this data, or maybe you could. There's ChatGPT Pro, so maybe you could add your own subscription to the product, right? I mean, there are many ideas. This is still fresh. But AI means a lot of things. Any type of intelligent behavior could be considered AI or machine learning, right? It's not a specific technology. So around that, we will be we are also working on 2 other features. Really unknown what's the ETA for that, because these are R&D. So one would be extracting different keywords from your data elements, like tables, columns, and providing with a cloud of those keywords, and you'll be able to navigate, check, for instance, SSN, and it will show you all the occurrences of this keyword, even a complex one, right? So customer name, for instance, it will show you all the assets in the catalog. And the other would be, we call it Data Steward Assistant, and it will have a bunch of different built-in logic to suggest you different things. So, for instance, suggesting SSN with social security number could be one of those things. It could be a dictionary, or it could be if you have somewhere in your catalog, SSN field labeled social security number. It could be as it's used as a knowledge for other suggestions. So yeah, we are actually investing in that. It's still too early to guarantee any type of functionality. We're doing some R&D on that. Bernie said that ChatGPT provides a great glossary definitions.
Yeah. And you guys can leverage that now, right? It would just take using it separately and just not in the product, so not as automated.
Yeah, but basically, as if ChatGPT will be available on-prem or there will be for business, so with isolation, so your training data will not be shared with other companies. So once that will be available, I think we definitely will be looking into incorporating that into the product. So for instance, you could plug in your subscription to the product.
Lots of cut and paste. Yeah, I can imagine, Bernie. Lots of cut and paste. Hopefully we'll get it in at some point. That was the last question that I had. We'll give it just a moment, Piotr, as we go to the last slide and wrap things up, just in case any other questions pop up. As always, we're here to help. So anything that you need, you obviously have access to the live chat on our website, but you've also received information about the contacts you can go to for certain things. You will receive a recording after this conversation. So all this webinar you can share with other people on your team. You can go back and rewatch. If you need assistance with upgrading the software, please just pop into our live chat or email support directly. They'll make sure that you get a meeting set up to guide you through that upgrade process. Don't see any other questions, so I believe we're good to go. So Richard, Piotr, thank you guys for leading us through here, and we'll see you all soon.
See you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.